Hello, Skylar T. Welcome to the show. How are you this Kentucky Derby? Well, not Kentucky Derby Day, but a day closer to the Kentucky Derby, that is. Oh, hello, Winter Briars. How you doing? You're a new face here. Never really met you before. Bet you're a super normal person. Let's see. All right, let's get this game started, shall we? Let's start playing some Tap Derby. All right, so last time, where were we last time? Okay, Tom Swimming won. Well, actually, no, he didn't win that much, but he's a grinder. Um, Gentle Quinn got one last win for the year. Still not really much more than a grade 3 horse, so hopefully he'll improve. Chasing Tomorrow's Dreams. I think, didn't we have some expectations for this horse? Um, well, they're getting there at least. Let's see what the note says. 7 furlongs. No wonder this horse couldn't. Man, what was I doing with her? Yeah, super normal. Getting ready to travel to Kentucky for the races. I just got my saddle cloths ships back to my house. Oh, cool. Can't deny, I'm always jealous of those who can actually make it to the Kentucky Derby. Me, I gotta hit the books, because that's right around when the last days of classes are getting ready. Actually, my last days of classes are May 6th, so a few days after the Kentucky Derby. They've never been before, which kind of sucks. But I can live with that. Oh, hey, Racing Empire. Now the party really can get started. Just going through the old horses. So, okay, Chasing Tomorrow's Dreams. They were, man, I really pushed them in scenarios they maybe shouldn't have been. Samantha's Beach. So, Samantha's Beach was fourth in a grade 1. Actually, I think we liked this one. Clee lost track of time. You were late by 3 minutes. That's unforgivable. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, just send them in the Discord server. That sounds fun. Let's see. Ryan's chasing. Okay, these are the new guys. Zach's surfacing and climbing Majestic. Climbing Majestic. Zach's swimming. Or Zach's surfacing. And Ryan's chasing. First, let's just figure out their distances. We got a mile and an eighth horse. Okay, we got 2 mile and an eighth horses, so one of these guys will go by the end of the year. And we have a miler. Let's see. Any name suggestions for these 3 horses? Ryan's chasing, Zach's surfacing, and climbing Majestic. These are our new homebreds. Let's see. So this one's by Chris is Swimming out of Hiding Talented. Zach's surfacing is a filly by Chris is Swimming out of Tina's Singing. Okay, Majestic Red. It'll do the job. Okay, Majestic Red. Then for Zach's surfacing, this is a filly by Chris is Swimming out of Tina's Singing. So, I mean, the name almost makes sense considering that we're in the same ballpark as Chris is Swimming and Tina's Singing. It's literally name and verb. That's a good name, actually. Or name and action. Names verb. No, that's too clever of a name for a horse who we don't even know if they're any good. Horse name actually could be funny. That'd be almost funnier. Horse name. Just have a horse named Horse Name. That could be good. We'll get back to them in a bit. And then Ryan's Chasing. Another filly by Chris is Swimming. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, one of the best of South Africa. Bear down. I was kicking myself when my uncle's soul got stormy. Oh, that sucks. African Prince for Ryan's Chasing. That's a... Well, these are fillies, so this name wouldn't work for this one. But let's start an African thing. African Queen. Why not? I told her not to sell her, but I knew she'd be a good horse. Well, Got Stormy was a damn fine horse. I mean, she won 2 4-star days against the boys. And again, I shouldn't have to tell you about her achievements. You know far well. African Queen, horse named Majestic Red. Samantha's Beach, I think she was one of our hotter contenders. Chasing Tomorrow's Dreams. I remember we liked him. But we're just going to have to see. Now that out of the way, let's just get you guys nice and trained up. All right. Now, you know, these guys are a little precocious. Well, maybe not this one. Okay. Majestic Red might take a little longer. But African Queen, she should be ready to run in only a few weeks. Don't never mind me, lol. Let's see. African Princess. That can be the next one in line. Or actually, you know what? The African Queen can be one who usurps the throne. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep right now and chug 3 Celsius today to stay awake. You really are that's how I know you're in the horse racing industry. I remember I worked the Gap just for like a week or two. Had to wake up at like 4:30 every day for a whole week. I looked like crap. I didn't look good at all. I took a picture from that time, and it's one of the funniest pictures that I have in my calendar, but... Alright, let's just get moving. We gotta get the season on the road, yo. Just get managing of these horses. Alright, Gentle Quinn. 5 years old, so this probably will be his last year. Chasing Tomorrow's Dreams. 7 furlong sprinter. You know, I think we just need to get something under this horse's belt. So let's just get them into a race. Just get this one taken care of. It should be an easy one. If you don't mind me asking, besides being in the great presence of Sketchy the Horse Guy, what is forcing you to stay up off of 3 hours of sleep? Well, that was a breeze. So that was easy. Peanut butter. You know, peanut butter is a good reason to run on 3 hours of sleep. Just saying. Is peanut butter like a really good energizer in your opinion? Like, is that what gets you to do the crazy stuff that you do in your life? All right, Samantha's Beach. Okay, Samantha's Beach is a miler. African Princess, a mile and an eighth. Well, first, let's just get her to break her maiden. These two look like they're going to be ready. Actually, you know what? No, they're not. They still need one more week. Actually, no. African Princess doesn't need one, but Horse Name will. So we'll wait for him. Meanwhile, Samantha's Beach. We can stretch them out. Let's stretch them out and try them at the in the weather stakes. And for him, he will go. Yep, in the It's Freddy, and the Gentle Quinn can go in the Sunset Ridge. Let's take a look at chat. Oh, hey, Pearl Babin, how you doing? I use music to keep you going. Music can also be hypnotic, so it depends. But yeah, music is really good. When I had to stay up for to make a condition book matrix for a whole hour, or not a whole hour, till like 4 a.m. in the morning, that was rough. Music was the only reason why I didn't pass out. All right, so let's read what you got, Pearl Bobbin. What are your thoughts on journalism? Do you think he has the right to be a Kentucky Derby favorite or overrated? Personally, I think he deserves it considering he's beaten Baffert's best Colts. I am sentimental towards journalism because he's actually the first time I've seen a Derby favorite in person because I'm on the West Coast. I'm going to look at journalism when next weekend, but here the horse had some heat in his front hoof yesterday. I swear to God, if you're right, I'm going to kill you. I hate to say it, but don't be like, I swear to God, I hope you're wrong. Because if not, you die. You die. Like, that 3, you're going to never wake up. Yeah, let's just hope you're wrong. Because F to the no, I am not about to be having that. I'm not about to be having that crap in here. But anyways, journalism is well, so far he looks all right. Just to prove you know who wrong. Oh yeah. Forte 2.0, get the heck out of here. Like, I know you're just doing your job. I know you're just doing your job as a journalist, which is very ironic. But I hate you so much right now, Skylar. Nothing personal. But let's just hope that this isn't like Forte. Because yeah, I do have a personal reason to want him then. Far better than Forte. Well, Forte had more races at this point. Journalism is going to have to prove himself. I mean, he's only beaten 5-horse fields. He's beaten great horses, but the fields he's been beating are not that big. You know, this is finally his chance to prove himself and really burst ahead. Cold Battle, now that he's finally gotten his bounce race out of the way, he could do some damage. The only thing is, can he handle a mile and a quarter? That's the one thing he's yet to prove. Cold Battle is a horse that, like, because his whole thing was his winning streak, people are very fickle and jump off the bandwagon as soon as he loses one race. I get it, but it still sucks. I think that Cold Battle still deserves to be recognized because compared to most other people in this Kentucky Derby field, he actually is more consistent. Think about all the other horses in this race. How many of them have been able to rattle off any sort of winning streak besides journalism? Nobody. You have to look at the Japanese horses to get anyone else. Oh yeah, that pisses me off. Anyone who compares Sandman to Secretariat is clearly a novice. Just because a horse has a big move in the stretch does not mean they're Secretariat. It's like shooting a 3-pointer and then being told you're Kobe Bryant. East Avenue. That's a good choice. I mean, East Avenue ran a heck of a race. If East Avenue was even managed a little differently in that race, then he would have won the Bluegrass. Burnham Square did not run a good race. when he won the Bluegrass Stakes. But at the same time, I'm not fully sure. Was that him showing his distance limits? His inability to contain himself? He also seems to be a horse who likes to get himself into trouble. Like what happened in the Breeders' Cup. No excuse in the Risen Star. Yeah, he kind of just flattened out there. Sierra Leone. Get the hell out of here. Sierra Leone might be retiring. Hey, Caroline Davis, how you doing? I mean, Sierra Leone has always done this. He's always been a somewhat inconsistent horse. He doesn't always run great efforts. You know, like he's not always been the best kind. Unless he's injured, they're not going to retire him after one bum race. Clearing out my sinuses, yo. Okay. Samantha's Beach did pretty well. Rodriguez could do some real damage. I think Rodriguez is a very dangerous horse. In the same way as like Medina Spirit was. Hey, Goba. How you doing? I guess, yeah. Rodriguez... The biggest thing in Rodriguez's corner is his ability. I'm Lat. Sup, Dennis? So Rodriguez, considering that this is a Kentucky Derby with not a lot of front runners, Rodriguez has very much the ability to steal a race, like he did in the Wood Memorial, but he would need things to go perfectly. Rodriguez, though, is kind of the perfect stereotype of a secret Baffert champion. Think of like Real Quiet and Medina Spirit. Both of them lost to, the bigger star horse, Life is Good, or in Real Quiet's case, Indian Charlie. But in reality, they actually were the better horse when it was time. I could see Rodriguez actually being a rare Baffert horse that actually stays around as an older horse. Something about Rodriguez just doesn't scream immediately off the stud. Citizen Bull screams that to me. I think Citizen Bull's like Muth or Messier. The thing with Rodriguez is that was before. So we have Sarah Leone and we have Serbia Leone. This is gonna be a great running joke. But that's gonna be a running joke real fast. Sierra Leone. There we go. I actually really like Rodriguez, but personally, I'm not a fan of Bob Baffert. I'm not his biggest fan either, even though I'm literally graduating from the same program he came from. Well, yeah, Siebel ran a really bad race. That's a good point. I actually don't know why Matacat Road is still in the Kentucky Derby. Because, I don't know, like, Matacat Road seems like a horse who isn't really fit to be a part of it. Like, in the same vein as Gaming. Or, what's the one named after the Taylor Swift album, Getaway Car? Yeah, Getaway Car. The only reason they would be in the same race together would be to like team up. And they did try that with journalism where they all like teamed up at once. And it actually worked. Well, it didn't work, actually. What am I saying? It didn't work that time. The thing is, though, Barnes will have his moment, but I don't like him. Siebel, he was also kind of boring, in my opinion. The whole P-Hay story. Let's get these maidens going. Oh yeah, Dennis. Barnes is chalked. You know what's kind of nuts, though? How do Japanese horses win this race, in your opinion? Okay, Goba, I love this question because I love the Japanese. So, the way that they win this is a little bit of luck. I think it's a little bit of luck. First, they would need a freak. Forever Young, I think, was the perfect horse to do it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But Luxor Cafe, I haven't looked very intimately into all of his starts, but from the little that I have seen of him, I think Luxor Cafe has a lot of potential. But so it would. But I think the biggest thing though is that the Japanese are very unpredictable. I mean, Tio Passport last year finished fifth, and Dermasoda Gake finished eighth, even though they were total opposites in terms of being qualified. Not even Luxor Cafe? I mean, Luxor Cafe was pretty good. He's won 4 straight. He's won 4 straight. He has great tactical speed. He's by American Pharaoh. I think he has some potential. Admire Daytona, I don't like as much. I think Admire Daytona has some secret abilities. Like take what's the word? Take the UAE Derby. Admire Daytona, his final quarter in that race was actually not that far off from the average final quarter of the Kentucky Derby. So even though it looked like he was struggling, he actually wasn't. He only would need to go a touch faster and go 100 yards further to have a chance of winning the Kentucky Derby. Similar to Rodriguez, he's a rare horse with front-running speed, but also Admire Daytona is capable of rating. The only thing is, though, Luxor Cafe has beaten him twice. But he wasn't. The American Pharaoh Colts, you mean Luxor Cafe, is a half sibling to a horse that my uncle insured, Regal Glory. I mean, I respect them trying something different, but it just wasn't meant to be. Flood Zone, probably was always meant to be a miler in the first place. But unfortunately, that was kind of an embarrassing performance. This year's Kentucky Derby, though, it actually really can't afford that many scratches because everyone below Baeza has already decided to go somewhere else. Every other horse has decided to do something else, like right now. And we have 17 days. It's a lot of time for horses to get themselves hurt. Everyone needs to somehow we need to keep these horses healthy because I mean we're down to our last 3 also eligibles. I'm not sure what he's doing. I actually don't. 2023, I could see that happening this year if a bunch of horses start really dropping like flies. Hello, Brendan. What do you think about Final Gambit? Final Gambit. I mean, people have drawn comparisons to Animal Kingdom. I don't know how he's Final Gambit is a remarkable closer, but that's only on the all-weather. I'm not sure what he'll do. He's kind of a wild card. Maybe he could fly light and do something impressive akin to what Animal Kingdom did, but it is a real, what's the word? Fish in a barrel. Shooting a fish in a barrel. It's a slot machine. He can move fast, but only over the all-weather. We've yet to see what he can. I don't know how he does on the dirt. That's just such a huge mystery, but it's not impossible. I don't know who you're talking about when it comes to corn, but sure. Rich Strike is a sire. I don't think it's going to happen. Rich Strike doesn't really have sire-like qualities. He was a horse who was in the right place at the right time, but I'd love to see him actually be a good sire because that would be a cool way to keep him going, but I just don't see it. There's a reason why the other 2 huge long shots, Giacomo and, Mind That Bird's Gelding. Final Gambit either finishes top 5 or runs last and never touches the dirt again. Yeah, that's basically what's going to happen. He's a huge slot machine with that one. So that should be interesting. He's interesting. Like, you can't, like, it's horse racing. You can't completely throw him out. But at the same time, there are much surer things in this game than a Final Gambit. And again, his name is literally Final Gambit. Like, I mean, a gambit is literally like a gamble. So maybe that's all you need to know. The one thing I've noticed with all the Bob Baffert cults is that it seems like they need a perfect start and everything to go their way, and it rarely happens. That is a good point. I mean, Barnes, like, all three of them were trying to shut off journalism. Oh, Cornucopian. Cornucopian, that horse is, he's my future book bet to win the Malibu Stakes. If that says anything. Also, I totally forgot we're supposed to be playing a game here. Well, I swear to God, if you're actually right and you're not just some, like, smoke blower, like, I really hope you're just some like, smoke blower. If not, though, you are dead. If the 2024 Belmont Stakes Journalism Series... Don't be trolling. Let's see, what else we got? What other horses? Baeza is kind of a tired debate. Oh yeah, Good Cheer. You know what? Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about her. Okay, so Good Cheer, the very heavy favorite in the Kentucky Oaks, that she could do some things. Like, if she stays healthy and she wins the Kentucky Oaks, I mean, that horse is a perfect 7 for 7. I mean, imagine the things that she could do if she stays sound and is able to keep whooping these girls. You know, like, we already had Torpedo Anna last year, and she's still doing good. This could be like, you know, back-to-back fillies. Heck, if she stays like even half as good the whole year, and she like beats up on all the 3-year-old ladies, I would really love to see her and Torpedo Anna in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Like, at that point, I wouldn't even need Torpedo Anna to take on the boys in the Breeders' Cup Classic, because she could just take on Good Cheer and we'd have a good matchup. You know what I'm saying? Good Cheer running in the Preakness. Well, who's her connections? Because it's less about their talent and more about, are their connections naturally adventurous and willing to put their horse into such a position? She's by Magdaglia Dioro, so she's perfect. Oh, Brad Cox. Has Brad Cox tried a filly against colts at the high level before? Built. I've heard Built is potentially trying to... like, rumors around Twitter are that he's pointing towards the Pate Mile, but I have no source for that. So for all I know, they could be running. They seem like they'd fit so. Yeah, Brad Cox, I mean, he did just win the Dubai World Cup. You know, like, he just won the Dubai World Cup, so clearly he's not afraid to do certain things, but take on a filly with the boys. I've yet to see him try that. Brad is no she. Mineshaft, yep, I saw that. And Santa Anita holding the equestrian events, I'm happy to see. Oh yeah, Hit Show. Okay, let me tell you. So Hit Show is a horse that I am very happy to have said that I have now seen in person. So I went on March, like early March, and I caught the Santa Anita Handicap Day. So that's how I saw Journalism win the San Felipe, and that's when I was really starting to get excited about that horse. He was the only bet I won that day, and then later I saw Hit Show, and he was about as gray as the sky. And Hit Show is, if you had told me that he was going to win the Dubai World Cup after that race, I would have told you to get out of here, because I had no idea that he could do it. But you know what? As an American, I can't help but feel some pride that we took the top 2 spots. Take that. The Japanese can't have everything. Not just yet. Oh yeah, Mixto. That one was just an ego thing because I actually predicted him running well in my prediction video. Okay, you know what? Let's get a horse running. Chasing Tomorrow's Dreams is a 7 furlong horse. The Justice Stakes seems like a good fit for them. Let's get a nice spot treatment in there. Retire or be gelded. Better go to sleep. I only found you like a month ago and only really been tuned into the Derby for 2 months. I enjoyed your vids a lot, bro. Keep up the good work. It's like 1 a.m. here, so good night. All right, good night, Goba. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you I hope to see you again. I'm gonna hold my judgment. I'm gonna withhold my judgment on Mystic Dan until he runs in this Oaklawn Stake race. If he can't win this Oaklawn Stakes race, or at least run half decently, then I would say retire him. But if he can at least take this Oaklawn Stakes race, then there's at least some good reason to try and keep him around. Mystic Dan also kind of strikes me as a horse who doesn't have a humongous amount of stud value, despite being a Kentucky Derby winner, considering. I mean, no offense to him, but he was a very lucky winner. Samantha's Beach. Yep, let's take them to the Desert Derby. And everyone else? Well, they're still resting. Let's get the show on the road, shall we? The Desert Derby. Mystic Dan, I will admit, I'm very biased on because I actually got to see him in person. He's the only Kentucky Derby winner that I've actually seen active, like while he was still racing. I will also say a horse I love Derby Week. I don't know if he's going, but Bishop's Bay. Perfect for... See, Bishop's Bay. I've heard that name before. Let me just check. Bishop's Bay. Where did I hear that name before? Okay, Bishop's Bay. I recognize the Silks. Oh, this one's quite an experienced horse. Well, not actually. He's 5 years old, so he's kind of late to the party. Oh, that's probably why. Oh, okay, so after, like, running in the Ohio Derby, he was gone for, like, a year and a half. And then he won the winner of the American Pharoah. Oh, he's one of Brad Cox's late bloomers. Brad Cox has a thing with late blooming horses. He'll take horses who, for some reason, got hurt or just struggled in their 3-year-old year, give them like a year off or something, and then they just come back and they do great things. That's what happened to Hit Show. That's what happened to Knicks Go, and that's clearly what's going to and something like that is going to manifest with this horse. Come on, Dreams. Come on, Dreams. Yeah, Fooey. I'm just going to miss it. Just by a head bob. I know it. Darn it! I hate when I'm right. I hate when I'm right about these things. Oh, right. Man, Arcangelo feels like a lifetime ago. No Triple Crown, in my opinion, will be harder to watch than the 2023 Triple Crown. Every year, I'm just grateful that that's behind us. 80-1, but for Rich Strike, Eric Reed's too controversial of a figure, but I feel like not enough people know that, so they can just brush past it, and I think they can make a movie about it. I wouldn't mind them trying to make a movie about it, because that's just more good press for us. Yeah, I was just so sourly disappointed by it. At every turn, it just felt like we had the group of horses, they didn't stay healthy long enough for us to really enjoy them. It's not like that we weren't devoid of talent, it's just that they couldn't stay healthy or good long enough. Majestic Red. Let's just get you in there. All right, let's see what these horses do. Let's start making some moolah, yo. Yeah, I think in the right hands, Rich Strike could have maybe won another race, but unfortunately, he lives up to the one-hit wonder Derby stereotype. Similar to the Melbourne Cup, actually. You bet $4,000 on the Belmont Stakes, and you won. Well, to be fair, that was a historic Grace. Oh, how humble of you. That's nice. Team Richie. Should have won the Lucas Classic, but those late moving tactics, just that was it. And Hot Rod Charlie stayed straight, which is ironic because usually Hot Rod Charlie is the one who doesn't stay straight. Like that horse blew it when whenever he ran at Monmouth, for some reason he just could not stay straight, and he always got himself into trouble. I mean, that's how he lost 2 races not back to back, but he lost 2 races by drifting late. Hot Rod Charlie could have done a lot better. That horse was always on the cusp of something great. Hot Rod Charlie was kind of catchy. He was cool. And he lasted a little longer than other horses. Had a cool story, hard worker, but he just missed out on really doing something amazing. He was always just behind a better horse, whether it was essential quality or flight line. It just never all came together. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Let me check Hot Rod Charlie's mother. It's been a while since I've actually looked at Hot Rod Charlie's pedigree. Indian Miss. I believe he is. Yes, he is in Japan. Honestly, depending on the circumstances, he could have raced in Japan. Doug O'Neill is one of the few American trainers to actually win a race with an American horse in Japan. He got a horse to win the Japan Cup Dirt. If off the turn for the Derby midway in the stretch, it's Juan Vargas, Luan Machado, and Joe Ramos. If Juan Vargas wins, I'll cry happy tears, cash a few saver tickets. If Machado or Ramos win, my wallet will be empty. Oh, my Toli. You're thinking of my Toli, Skylar. So, yeah, I didn't know that my Toli and Hot Rod Charlie were somehow siblings. I mean, to be fair, my Toli did actually win the Met Mile. So despite being a sprinter, my Toli could go further than most. That horse was a really good horse. Yeah, if they stay healthy, I'd love to see them run again. The reason, because neither Sierra Leone or Fierceness have been able to stay sound enough to have an effective 4-year-old campaign, that's why I'm personally more vindicated in Torpedo Anna being Horse of the Year, because she actually stayed healthy. You know, like, she actually, like, people can diss her for being a filly all they want, but she's the only one who has stayed healthy, stayed consistent. And I think that says a lot about a good horse. Who was 66-1 and finished second? Oh, Croix du Nord. Yeah, that's this week, right? The Satsuki Sho, the first jewel of Japan's Triple Crown. Man, it's Triple Crown fever. Well, whatever helps. Let's keep moving forward, shall we? This is probably the slowest I've been playing this game, because I'm too sucked into talking horses to play my horse game. Ain't I such a silly man? So, Chasing Tomorrow's Dreams, kind of disappointed. Tom Swimming lived up to expectations and did a great job. So far, he's probably the best horse we have. Samantha's Beach. That horse could do something if they stay good. A lot of Triple Crowns over the world look to be pretty good this year. Oh, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, yeah. Now it's coming together. That was, I believe, the COVID Breeders' Cup. That was a rough year. I was very miserable. Look, yeah, that's also not good either. Not a fan of that. Fierceness won the race fair and square. Both are good horses. Fierceness on his best day, slightly better than Torpedo Anna, but Torpedo Anna is sounder and more effective. Fierceness is slightly more talented but less sound. You know, you take a little, you win some, you lose some. Ooh, I think we might have a good shot. So Samantha's Beach, a nice miler. What do we got today? We could take the Gulf Coast, just get something under her. But also, nah, you run here. Tom's Swimming. I think we can go for the Eastern Mile. They took the Sunset Ridge Park Mile. So, I think they're in the perfect condition to do this. Horse name, let's just get these horses another win under their belts. Do you think he will do well in his return? He might need a race or two, but he'll get good. He's a really mixed bag when it comes to his returns. You would do Sierra Leone over Fierceness? That's actually a good point. Fierceness and Sierra Leone, I think, are kind of evenly matched, but I think Fierceness's lows are even further down than even Sierra Leone's. Pick it up. There you go. That's it. That's a good boy. Let me ask a fun, weird question. Everyone asks, who's going to win the Derby or even second or even last? Who runs 10th? Okay, a good stereotype. Who's the 10th place horse? Well, Majestic Red laid an egg. Unacceptable. How could you do this to me? You betrayed me. Off to the glue factory. Okay, now. American Promise. I could see him being at the back of the field. He might not run well. Madacat Road is a good choice. Coal Battle? Maybe, yeah. Publisher, I feel like that, or they're looking at Lee. Imagine if Publisher wins, though. That would be nuts. Like, the first maiden to win the Kentucky Derby in, 100 years. I think not since Broker's Tip has a maiden won the Kentucky Derby. Well, Samantha's starting to really get good. Top 3. Well, journalism. Sovereignty. The top 3 best horses. I think third place. Maybe Sandman or Burnham Square. Or Tapan Street, actually. Tapan Street's really good. But he's very inexperienced. But that hasn't stopped him in the past. Yeah, give or take. Speed King. I want him to do great things because, well, I'm from North Carolina, and Speed King has North Carolina connections. So I think there's something good there. My God, we got second, but look at how much we were destroyed by. This horse set a new track record. Wow. What a way to be the receiving end on that. Well, we made some money, but ouch, that hurt my ego. Let's see what Gentle Quinn has to offer. African Princess. A 1 1/8 horse. Who is now... yeah. I'm not going to get anything good for a while, so I might as well just get another race under their belt. Just get them winning. Get them winning. Yeah. The pedigree. I haven't looked at his pedigree, but That's very believable. Sarti is excellent. I think he would win the Florida Derby if Junior Alvarado had been on him. Maybe, but I don't think it was really their goal to do that. That is actually, I mean, Cole Battle by every metric has clearly outperformed himself because he was a $70,000 horse trained by a trainer who had never won a graded stakes race, starting his career at like Evangeline Downs or something. And so like he should have just been a regular old horse, but he's not. For a brief moment, we had 10 viewers, and I was proud of that. We'll get him next time, folks. It's like, you know who else had something like that? California Chrome's Dam. Love the chase. It is a Cinderella story, and I do want to see, and like, if they win, then I won't be bitter at all. I'll be happy. It's what thoroughbred racing should be about, but I'm not sure what he's got. You donkey. 4th place. Darn you. Think you'd cry? I think the most emotional that I've ever been because of a horse race was Cody's Wish when he won his 2nd Breeders' Cup. Because after screaming in an ungodly fashion, to see that inquiry sign for 10 minutes, I probably shaved a year off my life in those 25 minutes. Wait, Dennis, is Potomac River your favorite racehorse? I was too young to fully get American Pharoah, but I was still very happy when he won the Triple Crown as a 10-year-old. The Breeders' Cup Classic, I remember that one because after watching him win and celebrating a great end of a career, I went trick-or-treating. It was Halloween, and I dressed up as a king. So Potomac River and Rachel Alexandra, you got taste. Well, not every jockey's a great person, but most of them are. Oh, I mean, like, that trumps everything, Racing Empire. To be an assistant of any horse. No matter what. No matter where they run. You were a part of that. And you can't change that. No, I do not think we're getting a Triple Crown winner this year, and I don't want one either. I really don't want one until they get the new facility up. I don't want a 1.25 mile Belmont Stakes. Because then, for as long as time, people are going to just debate about whether that horse is really a Triple Crown winner, and it's going to get so old so damn fast. And I just don't want to deal with that crap. It's like if Forward Pass had won the Triple Crown. Got her back. Well, now you know not to make that mistake. Hey guys, you want to breed some horses? That could work. So we got one mare. She's okay. Our sires are a little less good, but I think we play our cards right. Let's see. Chris is swimming. Chris's swimming is not very fast. So I could produce another really long horse. Like a long distance horse. So this could be something. Chris is swimming. Just like long with long. Just get that under our belts. Chasing Cactus. We'll remember that later. Ooh. Who could this be? A very sound horse. Let's see what we got here. This horse could actually cancel out some of Chris's faults and be a little bit faster. We could get a classic horse out of this. Let's just get that in there. Ooh, we got a nice black horse. Sweet. Let's see what we got here. Blame over Queen Z because I got to be a hot walker before he won the Breeders' Cup when he was at Saratoga. Okay, that's a unique take. Sandman is our Belmont winner. I've cried when Windstrike won, when we won with Song of Spring, Preakness Day, when Desert Ride won, when after I helped play Straight No Chaser in the Maryland Sprint, he took the race. Ridge Strike win. Yep, that was an emotional day. I just felt like such a moron. Straight No Chaser winning the Breeders' Cup. Oh, yeah. We could have a horse in the Jamaican Oaks. That will be an emotional day. We got 2 colts for next year's Derby. Yeah, you gotta keep me in the know. I need to actually just like, can you just like give me a note sheet of like the horses and like a little feature of like what each one can do? Because it is sometimes hard to keep track, but I really want to remember everyone. Go get him. Oh yeah. People think that Larry Comus's call in that Kentucky Derby was a botched race call, and I really disagree. I think it actually was kind of perfect because, like, especially when you compare it to the faux pas that was the 2009 Kentucky Derby with Tom Durkin and Mind That Bird, he actually caught on to him relatively quickly. But also, more importantly, his kind of scream of just like Rich Strike completely out of the blue kind of fit the moment because he was also eligible. People really had no idea who this horse was. It was unintentionally kind of perfect. I wasn't a fan of his 2024 call, but I really think that but I feel like he probably is his number one critic of that call, so I'm not going to be too hard on him for it. I think he's got it this year. I think this year he'll be ready to go. Yeah, the way he screamed Rich Strike, it was perfect. When Desert Ride won the Woodbine Oaks, my dad was hot walking for Neil Howard, and she went from last to first. Robert Gaylor called the other horse a winner, and our filly a game second. Whoops. That's just great. Sonny Leone used all his talent that day and can't ride back at even half that level. Look, no matter what, though, that guy has won the Kentucky Derby. No one else can say that. Yeah, there was no other way to put it. It was a rare miss from a great race caller. But I think this year he'll be ready to go. I think that when it comes to race calling, and because I'm a race caller, I should know this. A lot of like how good you do as a race caller, I think comes to like how hungry you are to do it. When you're younger and you're an up and comer, like say me, it's easy to get hungry and put all this intimate effort into race calls. Because every race call is an opportunity. But it's so easy. But as they say in Rocky 3, the worst thing that could happen to any fighter is you get civilized. When you stop getting hungry, sometimes you let things slip. I think that's something that can happen. Like when I get older, and I have a decade or two of race calling experience, I'm going to have to find new ways to rejuvenate myself and keep it interesting and reinvigorate myself so that I do give the horses the just attention they deserve. I remember that the jockey of Affirmed went on a losing Steve Coffin. Yeah, he had a huge slump. My buddy had Sonny Leon before the Derby. His Derby win in a pick 6, and he won at 64-1 at Churchill in November, and we thought he used up his skills that day too. Hey, you never know. Maybe he could come back. More recent, still, we're happy to have you, dude. Like, I'm happy to see younger racing fans in this channel. Affirmed jockey went to England next year and turned into one of the GOATs. Yeah, it was mostly the weight that was actually really holding him down because he couldn't keep weight. He could keep the weight when he was a little kid, but when he grew up, he needed a little more weight. But okay, best race call of all time. I don't know if I have the answer right now, but I'll try to think of a few. In recent memory, the 2015 Belmont Stakes, iconic. The Breeders' Cup Classic, iconic. Like Larry Collmus with American Pharoah was a match made in heaven. Trevor Denman's call of Zenyatta losing the Breeders' Cup Classic was amazing, but damn, that hurt so hard. That hurt really bad. This is unbelievable. The 2009 Breeders' Cup Classic. Tom Durkin, ARG. That was just pure hilarity. That was one of the funniest things ever. Still makes me laugh to this very day. Amazing stuff. Tisnow wins it for America. Yep, that's a certified classic. What race win do you got to watch? Oh, if there's a horse that I could, if there's a race I could watch that isn't just like one of the classics, Dr. Fager, when he won his Vosburg, his last race, or no, the Washington Mile, the Washington Park Handicap, that with Dr. Fager, absolutely, I'd watch that. Yep, my wife knows everything, and the wife doesn't know. Secretly, the best race call that Larry Collmus ever did. Well, how could you not cry when Cody Swish was winning his first Breeders' Cup? I mean, I was very emotional that day. I mean, there's literally a video of me on my YouTube channel, and my professor, he said he didn't say I screamed. He said I squealed when Cody Swish won. And that's all you really need to know. Seattle Slew, that's one I don't hear very often. The 1984 Breeders' Cup Classic and the 2000-2001 versions, yep, those are all classics. Great stuff. Let's see what we got. Is there any other horses that I want to pair? This one's very sound. Might as well. I think that should do it. That should be everybody. Actually, no. One more. This should be the last of it. All right, now let's spend the rest of the year. The 2015 Diamond Mile. I've actually never heard that one. Justifies Call. It was a valiant attempt at matching his the 2015 Belmont Stakes, but nothing could have matched it. In my humble opinion. The arc that Enable lost, oh, that hurt. That hurt so goddamn bad. All right, now that all these horses are bred, let's just find a place for them to run. All right, looks like you're fresh. Let's just get you out there. There have only been 2 times Trevor Denman says that he was truly polling for somebody to win, and it was when Lafitte Penkai was running his last race and when Zenyatta was running in the Breeders' Cup, and both times they lost. And that was an important lesson for him both those days. The fact that Trevor Denman is literally in an episode of The Simpsons will never not be funny to me. He had some good comedic timing in that episode. Just get you another easy win, or Hopefully, you've improved since the last time I took you. I'd hope so. Majestic Red, cruising. All right, now time for some action. Samantha, I think this could be a good time for them to really push themselves. The Big Day Mile. All right. Chasing Tomorrow's Dreams, 7 furlongs. Let's try the Molten Silver. Tom's Swimming. And Gentle Quinn. Just get them all ready to go. Big payday coming up. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I want to see that. Finally get to see the Diamond Mile. There goes Gentle Quinn. Does he still have anything left in him after all these years? Looks like he does. Bravo, Gentle Quinn. Nailed it. Bravo. Good job, Mr. Quinn. All right, Tom Swimming, you're off. That should be another easy win. So that year's Derby winner won it, and he also won it again in 2017. Now imagine that in the States. Oh, yeah, when he won the Metropolitan Mile. Man, that was a unique day. For some reason, Frosted just felt like running. Frosted was good, but just shy of truly being great. He had one very freakish performance, and otherwise was kind of just almost there. Chasing Tomorrow's Dreams. All right, Big Day Mile. Let's see. Does Samantha's Beach have something in her that we just don't realize yet? All right, Samantha. This is your big chance to reveal yourself to us. Let's see what you got. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah. Keep going. And booyah. All right, a homebred grade 2 winner. Not the first one we've seen, but... Oh, yeah, the 2016 Breeders' Cup Classic. That hurt. I was pulling for Chrome. Check the Discord. What about the Discord, Skylar? Is it the tiniest violin that you're playing for us? Well, whatever it is, it can wait. Congrats, thank ya. Let's get these two just in a race so that they'll be ready for the Bashford mission. Or actually, you know what? Majestic Red's probably going to be my mission horse. Wait, do I have to wait a week for this guy? No, they're ready. All right, let's get moving. Off we go. Is Tap Derby any good? Tap Derby is a very simple game, very addictive. I think it's worth it. Like, I'd recommend playing it. Did I miss something? I don't think so. But NYQ, I'd say that it's one of the simplest horse racing games out there. So it's a little less challenging, but it's still fun and can be very easily addictive. Did I miss anything on the dish? I haven't. I think the pictures are still uploading. I think the pictures are still uploading, and that's why they're taking a while. The Middle Crown. Well, she did good in the Big Day Mile. Yeah, I don't see anything. They must not have uploaded yet. The Plum Ticket. Nah, too soon. The Big Win Stakes. That could be good for chasing tomorrow's dreams. It's got a good amount of money to it. Tom's swimming. He's getting up and nice and healthy. Let's get him into the fault line. Samantha's Beach. I think I'll wait a week with her. All right, let's do this dance. Internet's being slow. That sucks. Ever been to please tell me, why do you support horse racing? So horse racing is something that I've enjoyed since I was a young kid. The main reason I do support it is because, well, there's the glamour, but also as someone who actually works in the industry, I get to actually see a lot of personal behind the scenes parts of the racing world. And part of that gets to see how well treated they really are. You get to really enjoy all these horses' personalities, the personal connections that the grooms have. There's a lot of ambition, but there's also a lot of subtlety. People will see the greatest 2 minutes in sports, and that's it, those 2 minutes. But when you stick around for the whole time, you get a lot of things that you never would have expected. Like, one of the funnest memories I've had was dumped in a kill pen. She won 20,000. Actually, out of curiosity, what was her name? Because that'd be interesting to find out what her racing history was. What likely happened, and obviously that's awful. Like, I'm glad that you have her, and I'm glad that she's doing well. It's likely that the reason why she ended up there is technically not actually because of horse racing itself, but because of maybe a second or third owner. Her mother was famous. If you knew her, if you have any of those names, so yeah, unfortunately, so like horses, like race horses, are not exempt from falling into dangerous hands. That sucks. It very much sucks. But a lot of how that happens is the second or third owner. It's not the first owner that gets a horse into a dangerous situation. It's usually the second or third down the road. It's kind of like the book Black Beauty. In the book Black Beauty, as we all, if you've read it, it's the first owner that was great. But after the third or fourth, Black Beauty slowly really goes down and sees the real bowels of bad horse management. So does his friend Ginger. And that's kind of where the big that's where a lot of Black Beauty struggles come from. But yeah, like one of the biggest things about it's very difficult, but horse racing, compared to most other equine sports, goes above and beyond. Let's see what you got there. All right, let me check the media channel. Like compared to other equine racing sports, horse racing is actually one of the better sports in terms of its protection of its animals. The Hong Kong horse that broke its leg, obviously a huge tragedy. I'm not sure which one you are referring to. I'm not sure if this is a recent incident or one from before. Like, obviously, I'm not really sure what you want me to say other than that's totally off. Oh, wait a minute. It's How Deep Is Your Love? How Deep Is Your Love? From the Alcaz Sprint. Yeah, that was an incredible tragedy. Sincerest condolences to the people who own that horse. It shows kind of part of the unpredictability of the game because the year before, California Spangle won the Alcaz Sprint, that exact same race, and he was from Hong Kong. He set a new track record. And How Deep Is Your Love was kind of supposed to be the next of that. But obviously, that turned tragic. That turned awful. It's a terrible thing that happened. It was a shame. I know they tried. I know that the connections probably did everything in their power, but sometimes those things do happen. Yeah, Measured Time. That was the worst horse race I ever saw. The worst horse race ever was that one. Just pure agony from me. That was awful. It's a difficult topic, but it's something that horse racing has gotten a lot better at trying to address. And it's never easy. It's incredibly difficult. We can always go with Maple Leaf Mel. Oh, that was the worst. That was that and New York Thunder, some of the worst incidents I've seen in any horse racing history. In all of horse racing. Okay. The horse that was injected with Coke. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. Nowadays that pretty much doesn't exist. Like stuff like cocaine is rarely used on racehorses, especially at the parimutuel level. There is, of course, horses that get it in bush tracks. Yeah, D. Wayne Lucas in his early days did a lot of things that would no longer be acceptable. That's an unfortunate fact we have to accept. But cocaine is something that was actually a real problem at some point in racing history, especially in the early years. It's cracked down now. Like, compared to most sports, horse racing has some of the most rigorous horse drug testing in the world, but it took a lot of trial and error to get there. Barrel racing, I think it's all right. Like, barrel racing is like any other sport. I draw a lot of parallels to barrel racing and thoroughbred racing because they both have bad actors in them, but they are good at their core. It's it's a fun thing to watch. It can be poorly executed. But I enjoy barrel racing. When we were at the Thoroughbred Makeover show, one of the funnest events that we got to see was seeing these ex-racehorses try to barrel race. They were certainly not they weren't the best, but that was kind of the point. They were off-track thoroughbreds who were just getting trained to do it, and it was pretty exciting, although pretty wild at times. I'm a barrel racer. Oh, that's cool. Like, barrel racing, I mean, both sports have been unfairly mischaracterized by certain content creators. I think when I think of it the most, I think of like Raleigh Link. Not exactly a fan of her. But the thing is, with most horse sports, at their core, there isn't anything wrong with them. It's when um, gaining that extra edge, gaining that millisecond, gaining that extra half foot of feet. Um, when that happens, that's when problems start to arise. Look, I did too when I was 15 years old, and then I grew up. Here's the thing, like, okay, I'll stop being snide. So, generally with Raleigh Link, I think that it's one of those things where the most popular isn't always the best. Like, she got very popular, and part of it is, like, there's definitely some things that she knows very good about. Like, I'm not going to say that she doesn't know anything. But I think that she tried doing a sort of jack of all trades, master of none sort of scenario, where she eventually started branching out into other horse sports because she was starting to run out of ideas. And eventually it led her into territory where she really didn't know what she was talking about. The most infamous and easy example would be when she started talking about overbred Arabian horses. That was an objectively just very poorly researched video that she basically just took one look at a horse and just assumed it looked awful just because she didn't know anything about Arabians. Does she not know? Does she know Zilch? Of course not. And I bet she did. And I can obviously get behind caring about the animal, making videos about the animal. I also just don't like the way she does it. I get that you have to be entertaining. I mean, I'm a content creator, so of course I am trying to be entertaining. But that sort of mean girl personality, I don't think it works. That's not really how it works. Like, so with the Arabian thing, you can't deny that that was a bad one because Arabians for the longest time they have unique faces. But you know who always also wins all the big endurance races? The Arabians. To be a good endurance horse, you need to breathe. On its face, I used to believe that too, but Arabians actually, it doesn't actually look that bad. Like, Arabians are bred mostly correctly. The other thing also about Arabians is that a lot of the really, really, like, ugly looking dished heads are just babies who are just kind of in that awkward middle puberty stage. You know what I'm saying? And then they grow and kind of fill out into their body, and it looks a lot better. Arabians have a lot of things about them, but breathing is probably the least of their problems, considering that to be the horse breed with the most incredible stamina out there, you need to breathe. Halter shows, from the little I know, yeah, halter breeding I'm not a huge fan of. Like those quarter horse with the huge biceps, no thank you. Actually, I have a great story. There was a great. I'm familiar with El Rey Magnum. Yeah, he filled out nicely. El Rey Magnum, he grew up nicely. He's a good-looking horse. He's very badly mischaracterized. He's fine. Let's see. Okay, Skylar T. I'm looking at some of the horse towels that you have, and I gotta say, I'm pretty jealous. That's a great collection you got, dude. Bravo. All right, let's get racing. So I'm gonna try something at this beach in the metro area. Just swing for the fences here with this horse. And then for Majestic Red, I'll try him in a stakes race. It's way too short for him, but I think he could do something. But okay, so Pearl, so you just reminded me. So I knew I used when I took this field trip to Texas, and when I took this field trip to Texas, one of the things we actually got to see was one racing Arabian. We got to see one race. Let's see. In horse racing, hold the horses' mouths. Horse Racing Manager, I've seen it. So for the horses' mouths, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. But if you're talking about with a race, actually, it is a part of the horse's training, from what I think, that horses are kind of taught to hold back, or like that being held back actually means go. I actually don't know why this is the case, but I know that it is a part of it. That like holding the horses back. Oh my God, guys, look at this! I think we're about to win a Grade 1. Look at this! Look at her go! Look at this! We got a great horse. We're about to win a $1 million horse race. Samantha's Beach, I love you. Oh my God, and she said it in record time. We got ourselves a great piece of horse flesh. That's something that I'm not really fully qualified to talk about because I've yet to actually fully ask about the management. But like when a horse is like deep into stretch, like say when they start a horse race, like when the horses leave the gate, of course you're going to hold that horse back to help retain their stamina, and then you give them their head and you just let them go. Some horses it just works like that, where you really just kind of let them go. And I've seen horses win in a variety of ways, like today, like I was watching some horse races. One horse race, it was a nip and tuck battle, both jockeys driving really hard, and not really using the whips as much because we've cracked down on that. But two horses really just head to head, and it was a tight finish. But then other times there was another horse who won by like 7 lengths, which is a long distance, and the jockey stood completely still, like he was still as a statue. The horse had everything; he was completely let go. And the horse just kind of just won by himself. Like the jockey didn't need to do anything. It was just the horse's second nature that got him across the finish line. So sometimes, yeah, but I'm not fully sure about this question because you don't really pull back on a horse when they're about to hit the finish line. So Sugar, it's a bit of an over-talked topic. Yeah, barrel, like, I mean, it's like constantly, it's the same kind of thing as like, why do they starfish kick? Well, they make them go faster, but obviously, not every person starfish kicks. It's just a bad few. I assume Optimus Studios here doesn't do that. I wouldn't go that far. Personally, I wouldn't go that far since I'm in that industry. I've seen like there is like bad parts of racing industry. I'm willing to acknowledge that. But I'm also not gonna let it be. But I'm also not gonna say 60% of that just do that. Eventually, we'll lower that percentage a bit further. But while there's definitely a lot of problems with the horse racing industry, compared to other equestrian sports, horse racing is actually one of the better ones. And I know I sound incredibly biased, but there's a lot of things that horse racing does that other equestrian industries actually don't. Like their aftercare, like thoroughbred aftercare. Compare that to say from the AQHA. The AQHA has no anti-slaughter program, but more horses end up in that pipeline versus thoroughbreds, where it's much less common. Do thoroughbreds come out of tracks unsound? They definitely can. They absolutely have. Like there are some thoroughbred horses that unfortunately after horse racing can't really do much after racing. Which is why it's also great that there are rehabilitation centers like there's literally a prison thing where certain like people in prison can take care of horses that can't be ridden. Big leg dressage, Olympic jumping are all bad. I can see that. Though the dressage thing, like that, like there's definitely like is injury a commonplace in horse racing? Absolutely. Like to say it's not is a big fat lie. It's kind of like football. When you do such a high stakes sport where horses are going to run really fast, it's very easy for things to go wrong, for horses to be injured at least at one point in their careers. Like with football, sometimes there are there are permanent parts of it that stay with you. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? The Yellowstone horses? Oh, like Cassoulet? Like the actor, Cassoulet from the original Black Stallion? I think what they're trying to say is that these people have used that whoever they know, they took care of a lot of the horses that acted in big name productions, such as Cassoulet, who was the Arabian who acted in the Black Stallion movies, or the horses that were used in the Yellowstone TV series. So not necessarily race horses, but film acting horses. Yeah, the actors. You know, from the little I do remember, there was another Arabian that they really wanted to use that they ended up using in the sequel, but like they wanted for the first one that wasn't Cassoulet. Cassoulet was kind of like the second like horse to play the Black Stallion. I think it's absolutely their business to ask you about this sort of thing. Like, I'm willing to try and be respectful when talking to you, but you are very much talking in a rather aggressive and slightly disrespectful tone. So of course we're gonna be a little apprehensive. We're willing to try and talk here. Like, I'm really trying to be patient here because this is a good opportunity for me to both see why I want to be a part of this racing industry, because obviously there is going to be pushback in those things. And I know that there is deep down a part of you that is genuinely curious, which is why I'm willing to talk to you about this, because I care a lot about trying to represent the racing industry well. I know you've probably heard a lot of BS about the barrel racing industry that's really annoying to deal with. So when we hear stuff like this, it can get exhausting when you have to constantly justify the same things over and over again. I hope you understand. It is a difficult game, but it's just like any other equestrian sport. Like with barrel racing, with all the negative stereotypes of like horses who are absolutely jacked out of their mind. Well, not jacked out of their mind like drug testing, but the stereotype of like a horse who can barely sit still, then they take off and they only know how to go into 3 circles, when obviously barrel horses can do a lot more than that. It's kind of a dumb... Like, okay, there are parts of the... Like, see, there's kind of parts of... Like, there might be a nugget of truth in there. Like, maybe you're admitting, but you also know a bigger story. There's so much more to the barrel horse. The same applies to the racehorse. That's kind of the same principle. You don't really support your sport, then... I get, okay, so, like, kind of a recreational rider, but you don't really like what goes on in the like higher competitive scene. I can see that because I know people in the dressage world who are the same way, where they'll they'll have a horse who they casually ride in like dressage, and they'll enjoy it at the lower levels. But when they start getting into Olympic dressage, even they will be like, "Oh yeah, that sucks." Like the big Olympian who got caught last year, like beating her horse. That was terrible. That was bad. or like people who enjoy kind of like what dressage used to be, but don't like the direction it's taking right now, where you constantly need like Rolker, or it's hard to find horses that perform that are comfortable and stuff. Yeah, I can see that. Like, there's rough parts of every industry, and I'm not going to pretend like racing's perfect. But I think that what racing deals with is not special or unique to it. It's something that happens in every horse sport, and like every horse sport, there's always rooms for improvement. Oh, some of it is intentional. Like there are some intentionally malicious bad actors that do exist and have set us back to the Stone Ages in the racing world. Like or like bush racing, like illegal bush racing. That's evil. But that's its own thing entirely. Racing with no rules. Oh, breakdowns. Yeah. Yeah, that's some it's kind of like like the rotational falls in like cross country and stuff. No one intends for it to happen, but it does, and it can have huge life altering things, and it's always a tragedy. But we're always trying our best, we're always doing best by our horses and striving for improvement until we get to zero. Let's see. Look, it's all right. You're more like it. That's also partially my fault. It's something that I do have to do. That like that I do. Um, it's just something I hear a lot. Like you like compared to other people, you've actually been willing to listen. So I do appreciate that. So don't feel like we want to chase you off here or anything, because because it's a good exercise for me to talk with people with different opinions. The big thing is just that certain questions we've heard a lot, and it gets old really fast. In the same way as like people constantly asking dressage people about the Olympian who beat her horse, or the barrel racer who starfish kicked, or the one who used the electrical buzzer in that one viral video, which obviously doesn't represent the whole thing, or that one rotational fall, that one thing that every horse sport has, that one moment that they have to hear on blast when they have to justify their sport. Are you an artist? I wish I was, but I'm actually not. It's ironic considering my name's Sketchy the Horse Guy, but like my profile picture, that was drawn by an incredible artist named Zara Yulin. It's spelled like Sarah Julin, Julin. I commissioned it, and it was frankly, and it was an amazing gift. Like, it was well worth the like $65 for her to do that profile picture. She did an amazing job, and I'm always happy to shout her out. I wish I could draw, but I do love horse racing art, like horse racing or just horse art. Like I've noticed that horses have like horse drawings and horse artistry is never too far away from each other. Like people who like horses, but also people who like to draw. Yes, she is. You nailed it right on the head, NYQ. That's actually how. So I first saw her from her YouTube channel. Oh, that's cool. Did you draw your profile picture? But have I been to Emerald Downs? I wish I did, but I have not. I haven't been that far up west. Since I go to school in Arizona, I haven't gone up to Washington. Oh, that's cool. It does look good. Looks like what is that? A Pegasus? Yeah, it looks like a Pegasus. That's cool. What I commissioned Yulene to draw was a Eohippus, which is the first horse, but in the equipment of what is it? In racehorse equipment. Yeah, I really love what Emerald Downs is doing. I'm of course concerned for their future because of all the HISA stuff, but I really want them to succeed because I really like what they do. They really have a thing with marketing, and they have great fortitude, and I think they really deserve to stay around. So I'm 100% rooting for them. Looks like a brindle. Yeah, I did purposely ask her to draw like some stripes, like on the body, because in old cave paintings, um, horses are depicted quite a lot with like stripes on their body, like the Przewalski horse, which is the closest kind of relative to the old prehistoric horses. They all have those like dun tiger stripes, so I wanted to kind of emanate that with it. So great catch there. Also, as a small factoid, I don't really mention this very often, but he does have a name. His name is Dawn. The horse my profile pictures, the official mascot of my channel, I call him Don Henry, after the great racehorse John Henry, who ran in the 1980s, and Eohippus, which means dawn horse. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Actually, do you have a name for your channel mascot profile picture, or was it just kind of like a on the whim Pegasi drawing? Either way, I do like the heart on the muzzle. I do like horses with like snips. Let's see. Do I got another race in me? Of course I do. Let's get you some spa. Actually, you know what? No, you've done enough. You get a break. Good boy. Oh yeah, you did name one of your horses Don Henry and the Gallop Racer after my mascot. Teddy. That's a very cute name. Yeah, Teddy looks very nice. Welcome to the show, Teddy. I guess for other things about Dawn is that I do have other drawings that I'm hoping to recommission and redesign for for Halloween and for Christmas. And one's like a vampire Jersey Devil horse that was called Grim, and the Christmas horse, who is like a solid gray horse like dapples, with and also antlers. He's called Kringle. So while I haven't thank you. So while I haven't had a lot of like opportunities to really show off some of the channel's characters and videos, besides them being like an avatar for my videos, there is some lore to them that every once in a while I like to show off. Honestly, when I have a little bit more money in my pocket, I should really commission some more horse racing art. And just get more stuff in my channel mascots. You customize model horses? I wish I could do that, because that's cool. Like, I remember growing up on like videos like Honey Heart C, and that does sound kind of embarrassing, but like I remember I used to watch videos like Honey Heart C where she would like completely douse horses in alcohol so the paint would come off, and then she would redo the entire coat. Or like on TikTok, there's some like frankly amazing yeah, I know. It's like I mean, I was a little kid. This was like 10 years ago, so I would have been like, I don't know, 9, 8 years old. Don't worry, still watch her. Hey, look, no shame in that. Like, I may have outgrown her. Amanda Panda. I feel like I've seen her before. Do I still collect Breyer horses? Not for a long time. It's been a long time since I've had a Breyer horse in my collection. But when I was little, I did get some. Mainly it's the price, but I do sometimes, like, if there's any horse thing that I do collect, it is, like, JRA plushies. The JRA plushies are really cute. One of the best pieces of horse merch that I have. Yeah, totally. There was, like, this one Breyer channel, or Breyer custom TikToker that I really liked. That's also the thing. Like, I'm glad that JRA plushies. You know, despite the fact that they do come from overseas, they are somehow cheaper than the Breyer horses, which is why I usually go with them, because they're fluffy. They're a little bit more worth my buck. But like, if I wanted like a nice model, like Breyer's great. Like, I'm never gonna knock what Breyer does, but I feel like there should be horse collecting for all price ranges. You know. Oh yeah, the Japanese JRA plushies are so adorable. You know what? Screw it. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna get one up right now. Just turn on my camera for a moment and just get one. A Seattle Slewbriar. Oh, that's a classic. Let me see. Let me just turn on my camera here for a moment. Here we go. Here's Gold Chip. A total cutie pie. Soldashi. Oh yeah, so I don't actually have one of her. But Gold Chip, I mean, this guy is basically just like a bean. He's forever in like a belly flop position, and he fits nicely on my shoulder. So like I can do this. This is cool. Yeah, he's very cute. Gold Chip. Here's Contrail, little Contrail. Usually when I like display them, they're kind of on top of each other because it's really easy. And then for the other ones, let me just reach over. Here's Golden 60. This horse is actually a keychain, but the keychain broke off. Still, I get a nice squishy horse. So, who's cuter, Nathan or Gold Chip? Now, easy there. Like, look, I'm a pretty cute guy, but like Gold Chip, this guy is number one. I will always bow down to him. So I could have had the camera on the whole time. Yeah, I could have, but I usually like showing off my channel mascot a bit more. But yeah, like if anyone needed any reminders, this is what I look like. That is what Nathan the Collar, Sketchy the Horse Guy, that is who I am. A Man of War swaps and 'tis the law. Oh, you lucky son of a gun. You've got the good stuff. But like, let's see, Sodashi, I don't know if I'm going to get one of her, but maybe I should. I really want to get one of Forever Young and Ushba Tesoro. I need to get plushies of them. They're very cute. But like, literally, you're going to laugh at this, but I've literally been, part of my college school projects is that I get to, that would actually be really easy for them to do. They would just have to make a horse white with some pink color and they'd be done. That'd be like the easiest job in the dang world. That'd be so cool. Yeah, like it'd be probably the easiest paint job of them all. Pink blush. You'd buy 5 of them. You know what? That'd line their pockets fast. But as long as you got the disposable income, you have $200. That's about enough for one good Briar. Not enough for a rare one, but close enough. Man. If there's one thing that is pretty good, it is horse merchandise. The thing is, though, that's actually, but what I was gonna say is that quite literally in my classes, I've been making school projects all about advocating for making horse plushies. Oh, hey, we won a grade 3. Nice. Oh, you have 200 Briars? That's a good collection. Bravo. If you ever needed money to pay off your student loan debts when you go to college, there you go. But I totally understand if that's not the direction you want to go. 250? Oh, per lay. Such a... you guys are rolling. You have an addiction? Oh, gee whiz. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that there was never an episode of My Strange Addiction about Briar horses, because I would totally get it. Let's see. Schleik's very underappreciated. I'm glad you brought that up. Schleik makes amazing stuff. I admire the old Schleik horses. They're good. They're durable. I destroyed mine when I was a little kid, but they were so good. They were so good to me, and I still sometimes look at them and imagine a horse race with them. Hey, look, it's never too old to just have some playtime. Especially when the adult world is so crushing. Sometimes you just need that. 412. That's a very specific estimation, but bravo. Yeah, these little horsies are probably all I really got right now, but I'm definitely gonna get more. I need some. Well, at least your parents know exactly the way to your heart. An American Pharoah stablemate. I have a Christmas ornament of him that I hang up every year. Can't believe that this year American Pharoah will be 10 years ago. Oh no! Don't do this to me, NYQ. You're gonna make me fall into debt if you're gonna make me fall into debt, you son of a gun. Oh yeah, like so when I was a little kid and I still watched Honey Heart C, I just remember watching the Mini Winnie stuff, like her customize and paint like her Mini Winnies or whatever they were called, her minis, her stablemates, and she'd always start with like mini fans. The JRA is the Japanese Racing Association. It's the official national government body for horse racing in the country of Japan. A custom Breyer of Don Henry. If I had enough money, I would totally love for an Eohippus Breyer, but that would cost a lot. That'd be interesting. But if I had enough money, you don't even go to college. That's an impressive level of debt, to be sure. You'd make one? Oh man, that custom Breyers are thousands, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't have thousands to my name. The only thing I have thousands of is subscribers. Yeah, $600. Yeah, see, that's why. Yeah, see, that's why. Like custom, like if I could get one, I would, but I need that I need to keep that $600 so that I can go eat out, travel to call horse races and stuff. Someday, though, I'll get that kind of disposable income. Maybe I'll win it all by gambling on a racehorse. That'd be hilarious. Like, yeah, no, absolutely. That is a fair price. Like, absolutely right. Like, I'm never going to make, like, I'm never. Do you have horses? I don't own horses, no. I'm currently a college student, so I don't really have any space or money to own a horse. Someday I do want to have an off-track thoroughbred of my own, but that would be down the road. But I absolutely would love to have a horse someday. I do ride horses regularly. That's another thing that you don't really see a lot on this YouTube channel, but I do ride horses. You have 13? You lucky. Wait a minute, you're not even lucky. 13 is a bad number. Unlucky is what is right. Just gotta sell one or buy another one. Just buy another one and you'll be out of the unlucky thing. You've got 9. Oh, I'm rubbing it right in my face. That makes sense. They're mostly quarter horses, though. Look, I ride quarter horses. I've only been on a thoroughbred. I've only sat on the back of an off-track thoroughbred twice in my life. Besides that, almost every horse I've ridden has been a quarter horse and maybe a paint. 20 horses? That's a good lot. Oh, a QH with a baby on the way. Congratulations. Do you know if it's a boy or girl yet? A Frisian. Oh, those horses. You know, no disrespect to the Frisian. That's not putting those darn horses in period pieces. There are other horses. Terrified of horses. Look, that's totally fair, Dennis. Someday, though, I'm gonna duct tape you to a horse, Dennis. Like, maybe we'll go out partying together, and then at the end of the night, just tape you to a horse. 23andme.com. Let's see, do I got one more race in me? Does Samantha got another race in them? 1 mile. I'll have to wait a little bit. Sounds like a disaster. I mean, have you seen Yellowstone? That's how you start a writing career. Lose you? Nah, you just mysteriously disappeared one day and never came back. A horse named Jimmy? Oh, that's hilarious. That's perfect. That's just perfect. A world champion. And now, ladies and gentlemen, parading in front of you, your champion, Jimmy. Jimmy! If your horse is named Joey, I would want them to be a goof. Like, I expect nothing else. He's no world champion. What are you talking about? Joey is a world champion in our hearts. He's our champion. Hey, he could be a pleasure horse. That always is an option. We have this horse at the barn I ride at named Charlie. And Charlie is slow as molasses. He trips over himself sometimes because he forgets where his feet are. But so he's not going to win no Kentucky Derby, but he's really effective. He can side pass all day. He's great in trail patterns. Like, if you give him enough time, he'll do anything you want. Just don't ask him to go fast. He's like a janitor, but a horse, except he's a really good janitor. Like, he keeps those toilets spotless. That's Charlie. Love him. Love that horse. Hard Rock Cafe is a champion name. That's more like it, but I prefer Jimmy. Oh, is Storm a slow but lovely horse? Let's see what we got here. Also, Dennis, yeah, like, I totally get it. Horses are scary. I nearly got ran over by one. It can be very scary, and they're unpredictable. Pepe San Badger. Pepe San Badger. Yep, first thing I see in the AQHA Hall of Fame, inducted in 2008. Buster Welch. $1974. Well, that horse is certainly a champ. Seems accurate. Joey going at a gallop feels like he's going at a canter. Hey, look. He's number one in my heart. I love that. I mean, from what you've told me, Joey's the best. Yeah, that horse at 10 years old, when you're in a game where the horses retire very young and are off to other things very quickly, then a horse like him is very, like, it's awesome to see like a 10-year-old horse because he's nice and jaded, relaxed, always does his best. That is very lovely. Love that. He should have been in quarter races. He's fast. Well, I mean, all I'm saying is that there have been ex-quarter race horses that have been successful barrel horses before. Not all the time, but sometimes. Ribbon of Darkness. May he rest in peace. The first 2 times I got around a horse, I almost got bit in the neck, and the next day I ducked behind a concrete wall, and the horses for Brett Calhoun kicked a 9-inch hole in a bucket where I was just standing. I can see why you're afraid of horses. Yeah, thoroughbreds don't really... Thoroughbred race horses, because they're so young and hormonal, they don't give a very friendly introduction. So you nearly got killed by Patrona Margarita. I thought, I mean, maybe it's because you don't seem like a margarita guy. Maybe it's because you don't drink margaritas and you go for different alcoholic beverages, and she's like, how dare you? Distant Hill. Atomica is cool because she's 6 and still performing at the highest level. So yeah, for those who don't know, Atomica is one of the best horses in race horses in Jamaica, and she still is doing a good job to this day. She just lost a race by about half a length to an American invader named Barnaby, but she's still running hard. It's actually the mares who seem to be better than the colts in Jamaica. Just from what I've noticed. Chasing tomorrow's dreams. Let's just get you into something. Yep, there we go. And then Samantha. Let's get you into San Juan. Just keep this thing going. Theirs seem to always be better, and I don't know why. We also have a mare that was named but never raced. She was rejected in the starting gate because she would jump up and rear and get stressed. Yeah, gate training is really where you find out if a horse is really meant to race. That's like the starting gate is. We've had 3 female horses win the Triple Crown. She was a yearling. Oh my god. The thing is, though, it's usually the meaner thoroughbreds that are actually the better ones. Except American Pharoah. American Pharoah was actually, is considered a very kind horse. He's actually considered one of the nicer thoroughbreds in terms of disposition. But that's kind of a rarity. A lot of the best thoroughbreds kind of have a mean streak. And that kind of translates into incredible competitiveness. Funny Side, I got to see Funny Side at the Kentucky Horse Park. He was at that point, he was aloof. He didn't really, definitely a goober during his prime years. When he was there, he was kind of just doing his own thing, and just minding his own business. Like, he always turned his rear to me, and then I got to see him in the distance grazing on grass. That was such a pleasure, though, because I read a book about him as a kid. Like a children's book. So I knew him from a young age. So to finally get to see him after all those years, after my grandmother rented a book about him to me, was it was a full circle kind of thing. And yeah, Funny Side, no matter what, all these years later, Funny Side is still one of the coolest horses of the 21st century. He raced for years, became a pony horse, and then became a forever attraction at the Kentucky Horse Park. Yeah, okay, that's another thing too. Yeah, that's a good point, Dennis. So, oh my god, Samantha's Beach just broke another track record. We got a good one on our hands, folks. I was a fan of Racing Stripes as a kid. I watched that all the time. I even watched it this year. And you know what? It's a guilty pleasure. If I wasn't being sidetracked by all these Kentucky Derby videos, I would totally make a review of Racing Stripes. Like, I want to bring back my series where I review horse racing movies, and Racing Stripes is on the top of the list. If I wasn't about, actually, you know what? In the Discord server, one of these days, let's do it. Like, if you haven't already, you can join my Discord server. And one of these days we can just do a watch party together. Wouldn't be able to do it on the live stream. But also, yes, Seabiscuit is the number one. Seabiscuit is the best. Absolutely undisputed king. Seabiscuit is my favorite movie of all time. All right, you got good taste. Is there any good barrel racing movies? I haven't heard of any. But I feel like I also just haven't been looking hard enough. I watched this really awful one called Rodeo and Juliet. What do you think of Sugar? The movie Sugar? I think that movie sucks. I think that movie was a total bastardization of not a great story, but a movie that could have had a lot of real drama to it. Steve Harvey and David Spade as the Flies. I didn't like David's. You've never seen Seabiscuit? How could you? The horse? Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think he lived very long after he was abducted. I think that I believe the story that the one IRA informant guy had said that basically they had no idea how to take care of a horse, and well, he died in a few hours Yes, exactly. I was trying to get not. I was trying not to say it, but yeah, within a few hours, it was likely that they shot him to death. An unfortunate end to a great champion. Dreamer. That was another one of my favorite movies as a kid. Actually, it initially traumatized me, but eventually I sat through it, and you know what? It's good. It's better than most. It's not the greatest ever, but it has great production quality. It's well done. That's probably true. Not sure what else he died from. I feel like probably it was a mix of both. Like, I think that they said they used like Tommy guns, but either way, just one of the worst things to ever exist. What happened to him? So Kurt Russell, you know, guys, if you want another classic, if you want another classic horse racing movie, the horse in the gray flannel suit, is an older movie, with Kurt Russell as a young kid actor in it. Um, it's a show jumping movie, but it's actually not bad. Um, it's a bit hokey, but it's good. So Kurt Russell's been in horse movies since the start. He did that, and then he was an older guy. He did Dreamer, which is really a ripoff of A Horse for Danny. Hey, look, in this game, honesty is a very important thing in this game. So, and look, I can relate, Dennis Trusty. I'm a pretty blunt guy. Sometimes I say things way too harshly. So I get it. Like, no worries there. We get it's a blunt world. The Secretariat movie, I think, has good parts to it, but it's not my favorite because of what happened, because of its general inaccuracy. Like the Disneyfication of it, no thanks. But it was fine. There's a really graphic. Hey, look, I'm usually the graphic one when I'm talking in the group chats with Dennis. Dennis can attest to me sometimes having some brilliantly outrageous quotes. So, look, I get it. Honesty. Yeah, honesty is a good word. Also, welcome to the Discord server, NYQ. Welcome to the show. You like Evangelion? I've never actually seen that show. Then again, I don't watch a lot of anime. I watched this one weird one though. Walk Ride Rodeo. Okay, I've heard of that one. Isn't that the one about the barrel racer who got paralyzed after crashing through a windshield and then learned to retrain her horses through clicks? Yeah, okay, so when I'm free, I should be able to. Remind me, Pearl, what's your ad on Discord? Because if we're doing this, oh, Rivazen, right? You're Rivazen. My apologies there, because like, yeah, I've seen you a lot as on what's the word, on my TikTok and my YouTube. Thank you, Sketchy. It's pronounced Nick. A lot of people say NYQ. Oh, it's just a funny way of saying Nick. Like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll try to think. Yeah, I'll try and find a day later this week that could work, and we could do like a Racing Stripes watch party. And one thing I also have heard that I want to do that sounds fun is a horse racing Gartic Phone game. I know that Dennis Trusty wants to do that, where we just start doing like these esoteric drawing games. The only thing that stops me from doing a live Gartic Phone game is the fact that I'm so worried that someone's just gonna draw something too inappropriate for YouTube. Oh, Riva Zen, like Riva Ridge. So I should say Riva Zen. Okay. He lives in a community called Riva Ridge. That's probably where the horse's name came from. Found your TikTok? Well, it wasn't that hard. Besides, I'm kind of on a hot roll here with all my horse racing videos. Actually, after this live stream concludes, I'm probably going to try and belt out a Derby profile video. Who am I going to pick today? I'm going to hold back on journalism for now. Oh, journalism, I think, will probably be the second one, the second next one that I'm going to do. I think first I'm going to probably do like Rodriguez. And then in the coming days, I'll then do journalism, because people have been constantly asking for journalism, and I get it. He's the favorite. So I really should make one. You know, Griffin Johnson reposted my video on Sandman. I've never felt so proud. I mean, that guy has 9.7 million followers. And he has now interacted with the great, mighty, Sketchy the Horse guy. Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, like, I don't really know why he's famous in the first place, but I really do like his attitude towards horse racing and the way that he's been showing it off. So I'm happy that he's on our team. We need more people like him. I mean, having celebrities in the horse world, it can be both a mixed bag, but, like, when you have one who really cares about it, like Patrick Swayze with his Arabians when he was around, may he rest in peace, it really helps. I mean, he's a small owner in the horse, so he doesn't have much say in the matter, but he knows he has power, and he uses it as a chance to show off the horse. I think also it was partially an investment because of his girlfriend, because his girlfriend wanted a horse, and that's kind of what you do when you have 9 million followers. I think from what I've heard, he's famous for making TikTok skits, and I think he's also famous because he dated Dixie D'Amelio, who was someone who's the sister of Charlie D'Amelio, and they were like those TikTok dancers from like 2020 that got way too popular. So he was kind of like a friend of a friend. So he used to be a part of that. Like, he was a bit, like, he's an influencer. Like, that's what he does. You know, he's a newer gen guy. Genuinely way too popular. Yeah, I'll say that. Like, I'm happy with what he's doing with his power, but the reason why they're famous, it does kind of scratch your head a little bit. Like, how did this happen? Except for me, with my 1,800 followers, I need to be more popular. All you need to know, Dennis, is that these people are the newest generation of like popular star, and now we're the old guys. Brent Riviera, I totally forgot who they are. So he made a Dreamhouse video. I guess he makes like cute videos. Like, one video of his that got 21 million views and 3 million likes was one where he cleaned out his girlfriend's car while she went shopping. I mean, that's cute. Oh my god! I don't want to sound mean here, Optimus, but that is a carnal sin. That is so bad. That's the worst thing I've heard all day. Jack Doherty? That guy? That piece of horse manure? That is bad. Look, it's fine. I used to watch The Annoying Orange, but oh my god, Jack Doherty is way worse. Jesus Christ, that guy deserves a smack in the face. I mean, that guy is the king of rage bait, and also he's a lot of things. Hate that dude. You were 8. You know what? I can almost forgive you, but it's still Jack freaking Doherty. Annoying Orange? Okay, fine. At least some people get it. Yeah, I watched Annoying Orange a lot when I was little. Loved The Annoying Orange. That's actually probably the least bad thing that he's done. And I think that says a lot more about him. Like, of course, obviously cheating is bad. But, I mean, he literally, like, harasses people in real life. Oh, yeah, FNAF was the king. Like, I was around when Smike was making Five Nights at Freddy's videos. I was there at the beginning. Train vids and truck stuff? You know what? That's based. Love that stuff. I used to love watching Subway Train videos. Oh, Danny Gonzalez? I don't watch a lot of his videos, but he's totally hilarious. Like, him and Drew Gordon. Around when FNAF came out, look, FNAF was a classic. Like, I used to listen to all the music, like all the Try Hard Ninja stuff. I still sometimes watch, sometimes if I really want to, a nice... Look, that's a good hill to die on. I mean, I was around when Mando Pony was still respectable. Loved Try Hard Ninja. DA Games. It's a shame, though, that, like, so many of those guys turned out to be such bad people, like DA Games and Mando Pony. Danny Gonzalez and Drew Gordon reading a fanfic about falling in love is still the funniest video they've ever made together. Yeah, that's lovely stuff. Are you talking about DA Games or Mando Pony? Why people don't like them nowadays? Because both of them are for the same reason. It's kind of funny because even though they don't actually look... Oh, Mando? Mando cheated on his wife with a 17-year-old girl. That's what happened. And he was in his 30s. Disgusting behavior. Typical Gamer was so good before Fortnite. Oh, Jacksepticeye? I love Jacksepticeye. Loved his energy. You know, he did play Japan World Cup one time, so if you ever wanted to hear Jacksepticeye call horse races, there is actually a video about it. Apparently, it's impossible these days, especially if you have over 1 million subscribers and do Minecraft videos, or Five Nights at Freddy's videos, or play any video game that has a big kid audience. Apparently, it's really difficult for some reason. Quibblecop really fell off hard. Chilled Chaos is my gamer. That's good. I've never actually heard of Chilled Chaos. Chilled Chaos. Who is he? Oh, he looks good. He's like a Nintendo. He plays let's see, Castle Crashers. Okay, here's a flashback. You're missing out. I probably am. Boffy. Okay, here's this flashback. How about Zach Scott Games and Kabanu Mani 456? Actually, speaking of Zach Scott, I mean, Zach Scott, after so many, you know, he was really popular from like 2010 to 2015, and then now he's actually researched in popularity because he likes commissioning art of Daisy from the Super Mario Brothers as an elephant. Let's game me out. Let's game it out. Maybe. I'm thinking of Odd Ones Out. I don't think I have watched Let's Game It Out. No, I don't think I have. I'm glad that at least Nick has got you covered there, Pearl. The Sims. Goat Simulator. Turbo Dismount, Happy Wheels. Man, I miss how I used to feel. Spears the Amazing HD. Man, you guys are pulling stuff that I've never heard of. Because I didn't watch a whole lot of gaming videos. I will confide, besides like Jack and Markiplier. Gray still plays. Ah, Happy Wheels. That's a classic. Happy Wheels. My voice is so shrill after 2 hours of talking. Planet Coaster. It's classic. You know, out of all these videos, the one that I'm going to watch when I sign off is going to be the one where Danny and Drew read a fanfic of each other. Actually, I've always toyed with this idea of reading bad fan fiction, because I'm going to regret telling you guys this. There is a actual fan fiction of Trenton's Pride, the antagonist of Racing Stripes, and it's a self-ship. It's a self-ship fanfic on Wattpad. Wattpad! Ugh. It exists. I hate to admit that it is a real thing, but it exists. But man, I can see the YouTube dollars. I can see the title, reading a horse racing fan fiction. Ah, dear. I don't know what YN means, but sure. Look, that'll have to be another time. That could be its own VC thing. Just like reading tons of Wattpad fan fiction. Oh, you and me. I think so. It's like self-inserting yourself into a romance fan fiction. There actually is more than one Racing Stripes fan fiction, although most of them are about like a son of a zebra. Like it's all about the son that Stripes has at the end of the movie. I'm not sure anymore. Those aren't as bad. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to look this up right now just to see what happens when I look this up. All right, Wattpad. Were you ever a Spirit fan? Actually, not really. I wasn't really involved in that sector of the world. I watched Spirit once as a kid, once in 5th grade, and then never again. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I'm saving it. Like, I'm saving rewatching Spirit and then making it a review video, like, down the road. Is PewDiePie overrated? Yeah, a little bit, but not by a lot. All right, there is Secretariat on Wattpad, but it's not really the funny kind. It's just like a bio stuff. Well, then you must have really liked. That makes sense why you pointed out the actor from Seabiscuit, the young Red Pollard, was the main guy in Sky High, like you said. At some point, though, I will give it another look. Skate 3. I liked his Happy Wheels. And also just his animated stuff. Five Nights at Freddy's. Just all of it. Nostalgia-licious. I can see that. Markiplier's hilarious. Markiplier is kind of what we should all aspire to be. I'll never be as good as Marky Moo. Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier. Beluga for like 5 seconds, and then I gave up. Hey, look, it's fair. I never really got into like into like Laserbeam or Stampy Longhead. Like Beluga was funny the first 3 times, and then it just got old. Exploding TNT, I can see why. Purple sheep, pink sheep. I never got into Minecraft, I'll be honest. Yeah, pretty much. Beluga would be a good name of a racehorse. And it's Beluga, the big white horse runs away. If anyone gets a white horse in their life, name it Beluga. When I think of pink sheep, I think of the new Minecraft movie. You know there's going to be a racehorse named Chicken Jockey. And then I'm going to have to call that horse Oompaville. Classic. I remember him. And they're in the stretch, and it's Chicken Jockey charging down the stretch with jockey Jose Herrera aboard. Are we really forgetting Danon Beluga? Yes, we are. Thank you so much, Grade 1 Gaming. I'm kind of an idiot. Danon Beluga. But he's not white. He's like, what, red? Let me check. Danon Beluga. Japan has a way with names. Oh, he's Bay. And they're into the stretch. It's Chicken Jockey fighting head-to-head with Flint and Steel. I've always been tempted to do brain rot horse race calls, and I've always wondered if I did that, I'm selling my soul to the devil. Oh yeah, he was third to Factor Cheval. Oh yeah, there is a horse literally named Skibbity Riz. And here comes the black horse known as the Nether. The Nether. You'd pay good money to hear brain rot race calls? Oh, shoot. What have I done? They're in the stretch. It is the Nether, followed closely by Flint and Steel and Chicken Jockey, and then Lava Attack in 4th place. You are doomed, Sketchy? Yes, I am. And they're into the stretch, and it's Ligma in front by 3 lengths. Who's Ligma? Ligma! Ah, man. It'd be like No Balls, the winner of the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Calm Lafitte. Honestly, though, the name Ligma... Longer videos. I do want to. The problem is, they're hard to make. They take longer to make. Okay, so Nick, here's how long it'll. So the iceberg, Fear Not, is actually pretty close. Hoof Hearted, yeah, that's a good one. So right now, hey, I'm so proud. Hey, I'm proud of them. I'm super proud of them. Currently, I've reached. I think I have 8 more to go. I have 8 more horses that I need to cover. I'm losing my mind over here. I have 8 more horses in the Kentucky Derby Iceberg that need editing, and then all I have to do is just add background music, and then I'm done. Then it's finished. That would actually be it. I'm actually that close to being done. But I keep on getting set back because of schoolwork. But I'm trying to get it done before the Kentucky Derby, while also doing those Derby profile videos. So bear with me, but I promise you, before this Kentucky Derby comes, the Kentucky Derby Iceberg will be complete. That'll be completely done, and I will then recut all 5 layers into one huge mega video. That's like 4.5 hours long. And if I can, it'll also include tweaks and fix edits. I'll go back and fix mistakes from the previous layers to make it into a perfect version. I'm not sure how many I'll do, how many tweaks I'll make it before I'm just screw this, and I'll stop cutting things like George Lucas. But the goal is complete the 5th layer and then immediately just try and find a computer powerful enough to combine all 5 layers into one giant video. That's 4.5 hours long and goes through all 150 winners of the Kentucky Derby. And then I'm going to Tahiti. Tavon Cole. There was this person I used to talk to. I still talk to them actually semi-regularly on their sometimes. So sometimes when I was on a call with them, I would do race calls in the Quandale Dingle voice. I'm not super proud of it. I'm ultra proud of that. So I would actually call races, and I'd be like, and they're off. It's Quandale Dingle here, followed closely by me. In the first place is Bartholomew Dingle Nuts, and stuff like that. I was brain rotten, all right. Dutch Vanderline. I forget the context for that one. Oh, the Red Dead characters. I know someone whose username online is one of the people who used to. Macabell makes the last bid over Arthur Morgan. Dutch Vanderleen coming on the inside with Micah Bell, who makes a late bid and just gets up over Arthur Morgan. Quandale Nathan. And a spectacular upset. That could actually just be a video. Saying anything you guys want as a horse racing announcer says whatever you want. The only question is, RDR fans, literally the person who drew my old profile picture, they actually, their name online was Ren Marston because they wanted to marry themselves to John Marston. And it took me a year to figure that out, and I'm like, oh, you're one of those. Then they married a Polish guy. He's pretty handsome. I see why they like him. Also introduced them to a lot of great food. Look, he's a handsome guy. I can see it. But you'd shoot. But just so you guys know, Sketchy the Horse Guy isn't like the last name of some hot cowboy. So I didn't name myself to marry myself to a hot cowboy in a video game. That was the other time. Jesus Christ, people were crazy about Harry Potter back then. Oh, that's nuts. Ram Ranch would be actually a good name, yeah. All right, I'm signing off. My voice is rasped. I got homework to catch up on that I got to start really thinking about. But thank you so much for a great stream, you guys. Down the road, I'll try and plan a watch party for all of you in the Discord server, and more Derby profile coming soon. Horse Racing Iceberg. See you guys soon.